Hey there guys, it's your good pal Wiggly, and welcome back to more Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations Blind. In the last episode, we finished up the first investigation period of the trial, meeting our evil double Shin-E off, as it were, and in this episode we're going to be continuing on to the first trial of the case. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. I wonder who the witness is going to be. Probably the old man, if I had to guess. I guess it could be Jean as well. District Court Defendant Lobby number 1. Ooh, we're in top priority today. Oh, I see. I guess I should have expected this. Don't worry, Maggie. We'll get you off the hook. Nobody saw the other guy, huh? But he was there when I took the coffee over, sir. Scout's honor. Maggie! Oh, hey, Gumshoe. Of course you're here. Detective Gumshoe! Are you doing all right? How are you feeling? As if you need to ask either question, sir. Don't let him get you down, Maggie. And don't forget to eat well, okay? Aw. Roger. And you! Yes? You better square this case away, got it, pal? Maggie's innocent, you hear? I know. Don't worry. If you screw up, then I'll be doing some squaring away myself. Squaring away some paperwork for your arrest. I think he's serious. Hey, detective, you're on our side for once, right? Yep. So you'll be able to help Maggie out, right? Really? Can you, sir? Of course! I got the situation under control. I'm gonna be the first witness on the stand today. Oh, yeah, true. If something I say doesn't mesh with the facts, you make sure you point it out, alright? Will do. Sure. Okay, we're forming a united front today, pal. You get me? I can't tell you how grateful I am, sir. I've always admired you so much, detective. I know I can count on you. Aw. Looks like it should all go pretty smoothly today, huh? I can only wish. Alrighty, we've been in worse situations than this. Don't worry about it. January 7th, 10 o'clock a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4. Why is defendant lobby number 1 attached to courtroom 4? That seems incorrect. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. The defense is ready, Your Honor. And he's already started. Bitter. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? What's wrong? Nothing. It's just whenever I addressed you in the previous trial, your response was, "You was talking to me?" It was a little, well, intimidating. No, that wasn't me. That was the phony Phoenix. I see. So our trusty Phoenix Wright is back with us now, is he? Our trusty? So, Mr. Kudo, your opening statement, please. Mr. Trite, whether you're a fake or the real deal, we will find out soon enough through this trial today. But I can already tell you, I'm the real Phoenix Wright. I wasn't questioning whether you are Phoenix Wright or not. I was questioning whether you had studied law or not, damn. That's what I intend to find out. There's no denying it. Behind that mask is a man who really hates me for some reason or another. Why? I literally can't even think of a possible reason why. As everyone is aware, the court has already given its verdict on this case once. Therefore, I won't stand for irrelevant testimony during this retrial. Nor will I stand for a simple repetition of the evidence presented in the last trial. I'm not planning on repeating anything that phony me said, trust me. Now then, Mr. Kudo, please summon your first witness. Alrighty, Gumshoe. Let's start with the formalities, shall we? Name and occupation. Witness, state your name for the court. Huh? Oh, sorry, sir. The name's Police Department Detective. Occupation, Dick Gumshoe. Man, you are really stirred up, huh, Gumshoe? Other way around, Detective. Huh? Oh, sorry. Anyway, I'm the officer in charge of this case since yesterday, sir. Since yesterday? Yeah, the guy who was on the initial investigation is tied up with another case now. I hope Gumshoe's really got everything under control, for everyone's sake. I see. So, Detective Gumshoe, would you outline for the court the basic facts of the case? Yes, sir. The victim's name was Glenn Elg. He was a professional programmer. He was on the payroll of Blue Screens, Inc., a local company. I love the name. This is the victim's autopsy report. The court accepts this into evidence. Okay. Glenn's autopsy report: died of potassium cyanide poisoning. Time of death was between 1:30 and 2:30 p.m. That is quite a big gap. A whole hour. And here are the floor plans of the restaurant. Okay. When the incident took place, the victim was sitting right here. The poisoned coffee was brought over to him by the waitress. The waitress being the accused. Yeah. The victim died from poisoning almost immediately after he took the sip of the coffee. That's impressive. Is potassium cyanide that strong? At the time of the incident, there were 2 other people in the restaurant. Mr. John Armstrong, the owner and chef, and a regular by the name of Mr. Victor Kudo. Okay. It still seems to be a very straightforward case to me. Alright. Come, detective. Take up this hammer. And nail the defendant's coffin shut with your own 2 hands. We're already started with the weird metaphors. Now then, Detective Gumshoe, let's have your testimony. Yes, sir. Alright, Gumshoe. Give us something good. When the incident took place, the victim was alone at his table, sir. We understand that the guy, Glenn Elg, was listening to the radio at the time. Traces of poison were found in his coffee cup. And what we found was potassium cyanide. That stuff really packs a punch. And, it looks like Miss Bird might have had, well, some kind of a motive. Okay. Using the dark, aromatic depths of coffee to conceal the poison. Classy lady. I'm surprised that you... I figured you would have been upset about her ruining the coffee, but I guess you're happy that it was used as a murder weapon? Weird. The facts of his case seem to be ironclad. Mr. Wright, I would ask you to begin your cross-examination, but... Yes? Please, no intimidation tricks this time around. You don't believe me. Is that understood? I already told you, that wasn't me. Oh my god. I would say I can't believe this, but knowing the judge and the way this court works, I totally can. When the incident took place, the victim was alone at his table, sir. Okay. Can I stop you for just a minute? Huh? What is it? Did I say something that contradicts the evidence? He's so desperate for that to be true, he's practically crying. Aw. Your testimony just now doesn't match the testimony given by Miss Bird. She claims that there was another man at the victim's table. Yeah, that's what she said. And I... What killer wouldn't say that when faced with a homicide conviction? Hey! Sadly, her testimony isn't supported by the owner or the other customer. Isn't that right, Detective Gumshoe? Yeah, it's true. Their 2 testimonies tie up on that. They both said there was no other guy at the table. Okay. Why would they both say that? And why would Maggie think that there was someone else there? There's no way that the owner, that Jean and Victor were in, like, cahoots or anything. That doesn't make any sense. What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? I mean, sure. Well, maybe the other witness just missed him. Perhaps their view of the victim's table was obscured in some way. Huh. That argument is as weak as the coffee at Tribulations, Wright. Damn, that's bad. I have here in my possession a ticket. I don't know where I got the word seen. A ticket? Looks more like a photo to me. Yes, a one-way ticket to Guiltyville. Population, the defendant. I fucking love how hammy he is. Oh my god. Okay. For one thing, why are there 3 forks on the table? Fancy restaurant, I guess. Is there anything weird about this? I'm not noticing anything. Does the position look right? Photograph taken from near the entrance to the kitchen. Okay. Yeah, no, that's right. Okay. Well, if there's something wrong here, I don't notice it. This is the scene as witnessed by the chef moments after the poisoning took place, correct? I think the court will agree that with such a clear view of the scene of the crime. How, Mr. Trike, could anyone have overlooked a second person at the table? Ugh. Well, Jean could have been in the kitchen, and Victor, we don't know where he was sitting yet. If he was just like on the opposite side of the wall, then he wouldn't have seen either. It's possible that both of them just thought the table was empty. That seems kind of flimsy, though. It certainly seems to show the victim's table very clearly, extremely clearly. Photo. We're just getting loaded up with evidence here. I don't have any direction to point it, though. We understand that the guy, Glenn Elg, was listening to the radio at the time. Okay. He was listening to his radio, you say? Yeah, he had a portable radio in his chest pocket. Maggie told us that too, didn't she? Something about how one of them had some sort of earpiece. What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? I don't really think there's a reason to, but sure. And what was it that the victim was listening to on the radio, Detective Gumshoe? Huh? How should I know? Thanks a lot. We're now one step closer to the middle of nowhere. This isn't going very well, is it? No, not one bit. Detective, could you perhaps tell us about the poison and how it was used? Traces of poison were found in his coffee cup. Okay. So, traces of the poison were found in the coffee cup and nowhere else? Not sure I get you, pal. Was the poison a liquid, or was it a powder? If I had to put it in layman's terms, I'd say it was a powdery substance. So the poison could have been in anything that was on the table. Sugar, salt, pepper. Huh. Do you put salt and pepper in your coffee, Trite? Sugar, we do. The victim took his coffee black with no sugar. Well, shit. How do you know that? It seems that the poison could have only been in the coffee. What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? I mean, yeah. Are you absolutely certain that the victim even drank any of his coffee? Huh? What do you mean? According to this file, the poison was found in the victim's coffee cup. But what proof is there that the victim ever drank any of it? This is flimsy, man. Oh, hey, you're right. That's what I was thinking. In case you were wondering, the last objection was for the detective there. Huh? For me? Oh, hey, you're right. You may be fooling the court, but I'm not falling for it. If you have the time to waste, you have the time to present that piece of evidence. That piece, sir? Yes, that piece. What piece was it again? This! Why? Come on, man. Should I be grateful this coffee's only hot enough to give me first-degree burns? Oh my god. Oh, now I remember. This is the, victim's coffee cup. Okay. Is that the same one that's in the photo? Can't really tell. That's iffy enough that I don't know if it's actually supposed to be a thing or not. Whatever. Yes, the victim's cup. Take a good look at the rim. Oh, yes, it's unmistakable. There's clearly a coffee stain on it. Conclusive proof that the victim did drink the poisoned coffee that was in this cup. The victim gulped down the bitter death that the waitress brought to him. Like this! Good lord. I don't think he drank it like that. For the record, the only prints on the cup were the victims and the defendants. More evidence? Okay. The coffee contained potassium cyanide for sure. Covered in the victim and Maggie's fingerprints. This is bad. Upon further investigation of this cup, we found a certain chemical substance. What we found is potassium cyanide. That stuff really packs a punch. Potassium cyanide? I've heard of that chemical before. Exactly how strong is this poison, Detective Gumshoe? I mean, they said he died instantly. Well, that stuff's lethal. Eat too much and your history. How much is too much? A lethal dose is 0.2 grams. That's about enough to finish anyone off. That is a very small amount. 0.2 grams? How much is that? You know when you swab your ears for earwax? Yeah, about that much. Gross. Earwax, huh? Sounds like something Gumshoe's got an abundance of. Such a small quantity of poison could have been concealed anywhere. True. And, it looks like Miss Bird might have had, well, some kind of motive. Let's get into that. Some kind of a motive. Yeah, but if you ask me, it's been blown way out of proportion. You know what my golden rule is, detective? Chuck out a bad cup of coffee. You can always get another. You're surprising me this case. I figured you would have been the type to finish any coffee no matter how bad. Huh? I don't get it. I mean, I guess you've thrown it at us, so... I'm saying we can always get another witness on the stand if we have to chuck you out. What? So stick to the facts, detective. Now then, what was Miss Bird's motive? Come on, Gumshoe. They said she wanted to steal a lottery ticket, and last time Maggie told us that they found something very incriminating on her. I'm assuming it's a lottery ticket. I knew it. That's what we heard yesterday, too. Disappeared from the scene of the crime. And it wasn't just any lottery ticket. It was a winning ticket for $500,000. Well, we have a tie between that and Jean. But Jean grabbed the wrong ticket. Mr. Armstrong knew about the ticket too, didn't he? But he stole the wrong one. Then, is it possible Maggie stole the winning one? What should I do? Should I press harder on this, press on this point a little harder or not? Sure. Wait a minute. The mere fact that the lottery ticket disappeared in no way implicates my client. Huh. I have here in my hand the very ticket in question. Okay, it's not missing. Interesting. That's the $500,000 lottery ticket? One of the female police officers found it when she was conducting a search of the defendant. Fuck. Okay. Oh, Maggie. Oh, Maggie. Order, order! Huh. She's quite a lucky bird, our little waitress. No, she is not. You will submit that ticket as evidence to the court, immediately. Oh, come on, Judge, don't take it. I better keep an eye on that ticket, the way the judge's voice is quivering. Found during a body search of Maggie. Well, fuck. This ticket was presented to the court in the previous trial, too. But it feels heavier now, somehow. $500,000, you say? It's just a scrap of paper. What matters is where it was found, Your Honor. And that's on Maggie's person, unfortunately. That's enough. The facts of this case seem overwhelmingly clear to me. The defendant had ample opportunity to commit the crime of which she is charged. Furthermore, it seems beyond reasonable doubt that she did indeed commit this crime. I like an old man who knows the score. There is also the matter of the $500,000 lottery ticket. That alone provides a very credible motive. I mean, for that sum of money, even I might be tempted to bend the rules. You can't say that, Judge. Come on. I don't mind an old man who is weak to the siren call of money. Not good, Nick. Yeah, really not good. The evidence against Maggie is starting to pile up fast. Yeah, that's because the court has ruled guilty once already. I'd say it's about time to wrap up this repeat performance. With one final decisive piece of evidence. You're going hard, huh? He's got more evidence against Maggie? This is the apron that the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time. Okay, what's the red stain? Is it blood? If it's blood, then why? Wow, that's not the cleanest apron I've seen. That stain looks like... It can't be blood, can it? Huh. It seems the star of our play was a little flustered. And somehow spilled coffee on herself. The coffee? That's not exactly the first thing that caught my eye. Of course, that coffee stain isn't the most interesting thing about this apron. No, there's something else that stands out even more. Something else? I mean, come on, guys. I presume you mean... Of course. I'm referring to the pocket? Really? The pocket? The search carried out right after the incident uncovered this. Potassium... Wow. The very poison used by the killer was in her apron pocket. Well... We have... Oh, we don't have the little bottle anymore. Where did the little bottle get taken? Because we found that little bottle in the kitchen. With like the weird smelling stuff. Did we give it to somebody? I don't remember. I don't remember. Where did it go? Okay, well I don't remember. A bottle of poison in Maggie's pocket? Yeah, and Maggie's prints were the only ones on it. What? Order, order, order. The court will accept these items into evidence. Boy, oh boy. Worn by Maggie at the time of the incident, has a small pocket but big stains. Potassium cyanide, a deadly powdery poison, bears Maggie's fingerprints found in her apron pocket. Well, this sucks. There's something still bothering me. Mr. Kudo, why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court, please? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Are you colorblind? Are you blind? Is that why you wear that? Are you as blind as me? Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a blood stain. Are you blind? You don't need to be told. Just look at it. Well, detective? Could this stain really be blood? No way, sir. It's just ketchup. Oh. Of course. God damn it. Ketchup? She must have gotten some on her apron while taking someone their breakfast that day. You could have spoken up a little sooner, Detective Gumshoe. Pull a stunt like that again and I'll have you drink 17 cups of ketchup, witness. Oh my god. Ugh. I thought everyone knew what it was already. I haven't seen anything yet to make me doubt the last ruling I made on this case. Well, shucks. The motive, the opportunity, and the supporting evidence. They have all been clearly established. Well, Trite, it seems you really are a phony after all. You really know how to drive a man nuts. Witness, please continue with your testimony. Prescribe for the court the crime scene and the findings of your investigation there. Okay, well, we just got a lot thrown at us, and really quickly, too. The crime scene was reported at... The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir. 2:25. Then why is it possible that he died at 2:30? And that's only a 5-minute difference. Why... The time of death is too vague, man. What did Victor see exactly? Did he just see the body? Poor Maggie had passed out from the shock. It must have been real tough for her. The victim didn't have any identification on him. But we figured out who he was pretty quick, and then the investigation went smoothly. How did you find it out so quickly? When Maggie was searched, we found the lottery ticket and the bottle of poison. And that was it. There was nothing else missing from the crime scene. Okay. You identified the victim and secured your prime suspect. Very good. Last chance to convince the court you're a real lawyer, Trite. Don't count on any more cross-examinations after this one. So, let the fun begin. Kudo really just takes a ton of joy in tearing me down. Like, he feels happier about it than Francisca. Francisca was, like, so serious, but he's just, like... He's really confident. It's so weird. The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir. Scary old man, Detective Gumshoe? There's an old man who's a regular at the restaurant where the incident happened. We're obviously talking about the same old man. The officers were dispatched right after the report came in, but the old guy still made a fuss. What took you so long? Then he hurled abuse at them and seeds. Seeds. Huh. It was nothing. I caught each one with my teeth. What? I guess not even the mighty Kudo can avoid being attacked by that guy. He's throwing seeds for the birds, by the way. I just got it. The old man was the only other customer in the place at that time. He took his time finding a payphone, apparently, so he was late reporting the crime. Okay. That's suspicious. Poor Maggie had passed out from the shock. It must have been real tough for her. How long was the defendant unconscious for? The officers got to the crime scene at around 2:40. That was quick. Maggie was still out cold in the kitchen at the time. It took another 10 minutes or so before she came to. I would have liked to have been on the scene myself. I bet you would have liked to have carried out the search, too. I would have loved to see Maggie asleep like that's so weird, Gumshoe. All pretty and peaceful. You're a professional detective, Gumshoe, not a professional bird watcher. Good pun. That's pretty weird, Gumshoe, though. Save the romantics for your own time, detective. All we need to know about is the investigation. Oops, I guess I'm pretty red right now, aren't I? The victim didn't have any identification on him. He didn't have any? Are you saying that it was stolen then? No, I don't think so. The victim didn't have a driver's license or even a credit card on him, pal. All he had was 58 cents in his wallet. That's weird. 58 cents? Yeah, I can't believe I found someone with less in their wallet than me, pal. Well, if he had no money, then why was he eating at a maid cafe? That's super expensive. The victim sounds like he was a thoroughly miserable young man. Or some kind of outlaw. Why not give him a bit of an edge? I think I'm onto something here. Are we? But we figured out who he was pretty quick, and then the investigation went smoothly. Okay. Wait a sec. Huh? Did I say something dumb again? Let me paraphrase what you just testified to this court. The victim didn't have any form of ID on him. That's basically what you said, yes? Yeah, basically. In that case, how are you able to identify the victim so quickly? That's what I asked earlier. Same wavelength. Oh, that. He's so let down. He's got the whole sagging shoulders and puppy eyes thing going. There was a prescription bag on the victim's table along with a lottery ticket. Well, that's pretty important, right? That could be the poison. It seems Mr. Glenn Elk visited his doctor before he went to Tribulations. We got the victim's name from the medical records of the doc who prescribed the meds. Okay. That's a reliable enough source for the court. What should I do? Should I leave this alone or ask to hear more? Yeah. I mean, obviously, it could have been in the pills. So, what sort of medicine was in the bag? Well, actually, the bag we found was empty. That's extremely suspicious. Why? Huh? Yeah, completely empty. It was completely empty. But, okay. Huh. You're entering an empty paper bag as evidence? Desperate, are you, Trite? Now, what happened with the investigation after that, detective? When Maggie was searched, we found the lottery ticket and the bottle of poison. But the defendant had been passed out for a while, correct? In that case, isn't it possible someone planted the evidence in Maggie's pocket? Entirely. Hey, yeah, you've nailed it, pal. It happens to me all the time. We had an apartment party the other day, and when I got home, I was wearing the boss's shoes. What? Objection! I object too. Keep up this crazy testimony, detective, and those shoes will end up down your throat. God damn. That's... Kudo's not having it today. Sorry. So, Trite, someone planted the evidence in Maggie's pocket. That's a pretty bold statement. Care to back it up with some evidence? Well, I'd love to if I had any. It appears you have no evidence to support your theory, Mr. Wright. That'd be pretty hard to prove. But if we had the bottle... We need that bottle examined. I don't remember who we gave it to. I feel like I really should remember where that bottle went. And that was it. There was nothing else missing from the crime scene. I mean, that's categorically not true. The prescription's missing. Yeah. Like, hello? Detective Gumshoe, I think I should point something out to you. There's just one small contradiction in your testimony. Oh, finally! I'm getting all anxious just waiting, so hurry up, will you? You testified that nothing else was missing from the crime scene. However, the prescription bag you mentioned was empty. Did the officers recover the medicine from the crime scene, from the scene of the crime later? No, they didn't. Okay. The victim was given a prescription right before going to Tribulations. Where, then, did the medicine disappear to? This is really important, guys. You are too cool, pal. Thanks, Gumshoe. You're pretty cool, too. Indeed. Wow, Judge. Due consideration wasn't given to the victim's prescription in the previous trial. Witness, why do you always overlook such vital pieces of evidence? For gameplay reasons. I guess it's the most careless thing I've done so far, huh? Probably not, but I can't think of anything immediately. The victim was killed by poison, and the victim's medicine mysteriously disappeared. The victim's own prescription could have been the lethal poison itself. Okay, we're on track here. Oh, order! Well, Mr. Kudo, what do you have to say to that? Huh, that's all. What? Read for the court the name of the clinic on the prescription bag, if you will. Uh-oh. Is it Hottie Clinic? What's the clinic's name got to do with anything? New ear... That's a long word. Otolaryngological? Clinic? I don't know that word. Just what kind of illness was the victim suffering from, Mr. Kudo? Hardly an illness, Your Honor. More like a bitter war wound, you could say. What? A war wound? The day before the incident, Mr. Elk found himself in a fight. Okay. Well, that's potentially important and related. He took a blow to the side of the head and ruptured his eardrum. He ruptured his eardrum? Okay. Which ear? Because we talked earlier that he was listening to the radio. Then what on earth was the prescription he was given? It was a cream that was to be applied topically inside his ear canal, not to be ingested. Well, there goes... there goes my path forward. It's mentioned in the autopsy report if you read the fine print. They found traces of the medication in the victim's left ear. Left ear. That's odd because he's wearing... Is it in his ear? Yeah, there's something in his ear. And we talked about that there was an earpiece. That's strange. Yes, here it is, in very, very fine print. It seems Mr. Elk correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Tribulations. Therefore, it would be absurd to believe that he would have eaten his medication. Yeah. Damn. It seems that the medication is irrelevant to the case after all. No. Nick, if you don't think of something quick, it'll all be over. She's right. But I can't get away with any old weak objection. What should I do? It's the only path we have. We're working in tight corners from the beginning of this case. Holy cow. Only moments ago, Mr. Kudo made the following statement. It seems Mr. Elk correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Tribulations. If that's the case, then why was the medication not found at the scene of the crime? That's a good point. Where is it? But the medication in question was for topical use inside the ear canal. That doesn't change the fact that it could not be found at the crime scene. However insignificant it may seem, it's a lawyer's duty to pursue the truth. You know as well as I do that the medication is irrelevant. It hardly seems likely that a prescription drug would contain potassium cyanide. Not that unlikely. More unlikely that it's an ear cream, but it hardly seems likely that the coffee the waitress served would contain it either. But it did. The possibility is undeniable. Ugh. That's enough. Mr. Kudo, is the detective the only witness the prosecution wishes to call? Wow, I can't read. And we really brute forced our way through that one, huh? Mr. Kudo? I've got my own witness I'd like to call, sir. What? It's the old man who was there in the restaurant on the day of the murder. What? Okay. Why is Gumshoe calling him for it? Victor Kudo, the pigeon hater? Very well. The matter of the disappearing medication seems little more than trivial at best. However, it wasn't explored at all in the previous trial, and that is something that bothers me. Yay, good job, Nick. The court will adjourn for a 10-minute reset already, after which we will hear the prosecution's next witness. Huh. I suppose this means I'll have to finish you off in my last 6 cups. Court has adjourned for recess. Why are we moving that fast with your coffee, man? January 7th, 11:03 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 1. Whew, that was close. Tell me about it. I nearly died in there. That's my line, sir. I feel so bad for Maggie. I really hope she doesn't get in any more trouble after this. I'm sure she will, but... No, it's my line. I think I really did die a little bit. Looks like we all nearly died in there. I can't believe Detective Gumshoe. How could he betray us like that? Huh? He said he'd help me, but he totally set me up. I don't think he meant to do that, Maggie. He was backed into a corner. I mean, the guy's got to do his job, right? It's okay. I know all about lies and betrayal. I've had them my whole life. Oh. But it really hurt this time. I felt like someone punched me hard in the stomach. I hate that guy. I don't ever want to see him. Oh. Poor Gumshoe. Wow. So the next witness is going to be that old guy from the park, right? Yeah, Mr. Kudo, lover of waitress outfits and projectile seeds. I bet he's going to be really stubborn. I mean, he's pretty set in his ways, you know? Yeah, he's a big old grouch. Are you going to be able to handle him, Nick? Think about the other old person that we've handled. Victor's nothing. Yeah, I can take whatever he throws at me, even those never-ending bird seeds. Okay. January 7th, 11:15 a.m., District Court, Courtroom Number 4. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Maggie Bird. Mr. Kudo, your next witness, please. The prosecution calls the lucky old-timer who caught the show over a cup of coffee. Will the witness please take the stand? Alright. Name and occupation, if you don't mind. The name's Victor Kudo, born and bred in the land of the rising sun. Honor and duty are what make me. Mind you, I can be quite emotional at times, too. We don't need to hear about that, Mr. Kudo. Just tell the court your occupation. My occupation? Ha! Listen, young'un. How much call do you think there is for kimono embroidery here? That was a hard sentence to read. Kimono embroidery? That's what I do, or did back in Japan. I embroidered family crests on kimonos. My ancestors were embroidering kimonos before this country even existed. Wow, a real craftsman. They're a dying breed. If this is America, then that's only like 300 years, so that's not that long. Hey, maybe he could embroider my costume sometime. Maybe. Anyway, like I said, there's not much demand for that kind of thing here. So I had to take a job working at the cash register at a burger joint, pretending to smile. That burger joint would have been better off putting him in the kitchen. True. Now then, witness, where were you in the restaurant at the time of the incident? Oh, yes, I was eating some seeds over a cup of Javachino. Seeds? What do you think these are, hmm? I see. So you saw everything that happened, Gramps? Did I? Oh, yes, I did. I saw it all. That's flimsy. Then please tell the court. We're all ears. Sure. I'll tell you. Every last detail. He's really getting into this. All right, Victor. Give me your worst. The young man was reading the sports paper. Mm-hmm. This sports paper right here. The doodle was in his handwriting. Why the... I guess the $500,000's probably written... What is MC Bomber? The $500,000's probably written because that's what he won. But we do not have any path forward on the 100,000 and MC Bomber. I don't know what that's about. The serving girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. Why are we only seeing her back? The man took one sip of it, looked like he was in terrible pain, and then collapsed. That's the serving girl, right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. Do you? Mr. Kudo, she is not a serving girl. Please refer to her as a waitress. Ka! You're as bad as the rest of them. All these newfangled words, what's wrong with the old-fashioned ones, Newfangled? All this talk of radios and glasses, it's wireless and spectacles, I tell you. Excuse me? Listen to me, everyone. Don't forget the old values. Don't let the good old days slip away. Well, I think it's time to begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. For once, the judge isn't the most out-of-touch old person in the room. That's crazy. Yes, Your Honor. Okay. The young man was reading the sports paper. Can you tell us more about that? Also, why did it get stuffed behind the the rack? You saw the victim then. You saw Mr. Glenn Elg? I wanted to know if Gus and Braun retained his championship or not. Everybody wanted to know. So he was looking at the sports paper the victim was reading, huh? And at the location in question. There are partitions between tables on the same side of the restaurant, right? So what if there are? If you say that you could see the victim, that means you were sitting at a table on the other side of the restaurant, correct? I mean, yeah. It could have been that one, or he could have been sitting, like, in the far chair closest to the kitchen. Which would probably explain why he only saw, well, maybe. I guess we don't know for sure that he only saw the waitress's back. It's just the way it was presented. I'm making assumptions. Ka! I go to that place to drink Javachino. I don't go to sit. I don't remember which table I was sitting at. You mean you go there to eye the waitresses? The serving girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. Okay. Mr. Kudo, that is a very grave accusation. Are you sure about what you saw? Victor Kudo never makes mistakes. I dot every T and cross every I. I see. My eyesight's fine. The doctor said I only need spectacles for reading and driving. I bet his eyes are only really fine when he's scoping out a waitress. And I saw what the serving girl put into the Javachino as well. That's bold. Okay. I bet I know what's coming up, and something tells me I'm not going to like it. We gotta press harder. We gotta get to the truth. Your Honor, we need more clarification on what was put into the victim's coffee. I'd like to ask that the witness add what he knows about this to the testimony. I agree. Witness, will you please enlighten us? Will you enlighten us, please? My bad. Sure. I'm having trouble reading this episode. Not sure why. There's no question about it. She's very conspicuously put some white powder in there. Okay. That is certainly white powder. Okay. It still could have been sugar. I guess. But, I mean, there was poison in the coffee, though. Did she really put that into the coffee? You doubt me, boy? She took out she took some out of a small brown bottle and sprinkled it in. Well, shit. Couldn't she have been adding sugar? Sugar? In a small brown bottle like that? Like that? Witness, could you please describe the bottle in more concrete terms? Ha! That's the wrong laugh. A bottle like this, perhaps. Oh, there it is. That's the one. That's the bottle of potassium cyanide, I presume. So what did the accused put into the coffee? I think it's clear, don't you? Well, that didn't go well. The man took one sip of it, looked like he was in terrible pain, and then collapsed. He took just one sip? You youngins, you waste everything. Those Javachinos cost $8. In the good old days, we would have drank every last drop, eaten the cup, and then died. Congratulations, you have earned the title of baddiest man to grace a courtroom. I'm sorry your childhood was terrible, don't wish it on us. So, it was an immediate death. Well, with potassium cyanide, I suppose that's possible. Oh, yes. He slumped over without so much as a twitch. I felt the Javicino I just drank turned sour in my stomach. Oh, yes, I know that feeling. And the waitress, I presume she is... That's the serving girl, right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well, okay. You said I remember her well in reference to the waitress. Did she have any particular features that you can identify her by? Particular features? It's a disgrace, that's what it is. Sorry? You can see all the way up to her, you know. She's practically naked in that uniform! So the particular feature you recognize about the waitress is her outfit? But anyone can wear just such a uniform, even me! Well, we saw Mia, so it's not out of the question. Mr. Wright, please spare the court of any further mental anguish from that image. I'm now imagining everyone in this courtroom in a maid outfit. Oh my god. Don't get all excited, Nick. You gotta keep yourself together. I guess I got a bit carried away. Kah! There are other things I recognize about her, too. He seems pretty sure of himself. What should I do? Save face. Sure, you saw a waitress take the coffee over to the victim. But what matters is whether the waitress was Maggie Bird or not. Quite right. Mr. Kudo, these other features that you recognize about the defendant, I would ask you to add them to your testimony. Sure. There was a ribbon in her hair, and her apron straps were loose. Okay, well that's the reverse of what I was working toward. You're only describing her back. So I was completely correct just from guessing, yes, just from guessing the way the image was presented. Oh my god. We've had plenty of situations where it's like, you didn't see the face, especially in like Steel Samurai shit. It was just a natural conclusion to make. You do seem to remember several details about her appearance. But what about the most crucial detail of all? Her face. I can't believe how far ahead I was this time. Kah! As if I wouldn't remember that. The witness noticed the straps on the accused apron. He's unlikely to make a mistake about her face. That's right, I can even tell you the color of the ribbon in her hair. It was red. So you see, there's nothing wrong with the witness's eyesight. There's no doubt he remembers the waitress pretty well. What should I do? I get the feeling there's something more to this somehow. Ask about the waitress's back. The identifying features you described are all things you would see from the back, yes. So what? It's possible that you never saw the waitress from the front at all? Huh. He's got you there, Gramps. I'm glad you admit it. People normally talk about facial features when they're asked to describe someone, not this guy. But this witness's testimony is nothing but straps and ribbons. This is harassment! I tell you, I'm not obsessed with straps or ribbons! I'm just telling you what I saw! Mr. Kudo, the court requests that you add details about any identifying features. Features you observe from the front, that is, to your testimony. Sure. This old man's testimony is getting longer and longer. And if I can't find a hole in it soon, it'll get even longer, I bet. Okay, there wasn't anything about her that caught my interest about her when I saw her from the front. Was there not a giant red stain? Yeah, let's go. Mr. Kudo, I'd like you to please take a look at this. Ka! That filthy thing would suit filth like you just perfectly. Actually, it reminds me of what my grandson looks like just after he's done eating. How young is he? Have you ever seen this before? Of course I haven't. Do you think I'd forget something as dirty as that? Precisely. Well, you half-witted clot! I love Smug Phoenix. What? What is it? Ever since I said you half-witted clot, there's been an eerie silence in here. Mr. Kudo, this apron is the apron worn by the defendant on the day of the poisoning. And as you just said yourself, you wouldn't forget something like this. Which means, if you had really seen this apron before... Yes, you know what I'm getting at. You couldn't have possibly seen the waitress from the front. Let's go. Oops. Why don't I find this guy anywhere near as aggravating as Old Bag? I really don't. He's not a great guy, but like, he's, I don't know, kind of more typical of an old person instead of so over-exaggerated, I guess. Witness, you can't just oops your way out of this. Huh. Well, well. Looks like we finally have a genuine trial on our hands. Listen, Trite. Here are the facts. On the day of the incident, there was only one waitress in the restaurant. Okay. That being the defendant, Miss Maggie Bird. Exactly. And when that one waitress put the poison into the coffee cup, this old guy was watching. I hope you understand the gravity of the situation, Mr. Kudo. The fate of the defendant may rest on what you say and remember seeing. What you say you remember seeing. Just tell the court exactly what you saw, Gramps. You can rely on me, Captain. My noggin's in perfect working order. I can't remember a single occasion where I forgot what burger a customer wanted. He can't remember? Probably more like he messed up so many times he's blocking it out. He probably doesn't remember his last shift. Very well, let's test out just how good your memory and attention to detail is, Mr. Kudo. Tell us what you remember about the victim. Okay. Is this where we're going to get into the earpiece? He was another of those pesky young types wearing a broken pair of spectacles. Okay. He had a newspaper in his right hand, and the noisy brat kept rustling its pages. Right hand. Why is that noted specifically? The young man was listening to the wireless. I remember that well. Then the serving girl in question brought over the Davicino. The little fidget picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip. Okay. So he picked it up with his left hand, I guess. Is that important? Okay. Let's look at the scene of the crime. I mean, it looks possible. Is he right-handed? Do we know that? The victim and Maggie's fingerprints. Okay. We need to examine these fingerprints and see which hand it was. That's important. It wouldn't say in here, would it? Left eardrum. I mean, yeah. Okay. All right. I feel like I'm onto something, but I don't exactly know why. It seems to me that he remembers the victim in a great deal of detail. A suspicious amount of detail. Oh, yes, I hate those you-know-what types who are so vague about everything. How are we going to handle this, Nick? We only need to do one thing. We just need to prove that the old man's memory is shot. Just trip him up, you mean? Isn't that kind of cruel? I suppose, but it's what I do best, yeah? It's our job. Okay. He was another one of those pesky young types wearing a broken pair of spectacles. Let's press everything first. Spectacles. Dark glasses to you. One of the lenses was green, but the other was broken. Newfangled rubbish. That's why I remember him so well. He did have some kind of lens over his left eye, but I wouldn't have called it a pair of glasses. He seems to have been wearing some rather modern-looking shades. Perhaps I should take to wearing some and rival Mr. Godot's sharp appearance. You couldn't dare. We better come up with something sharp and quick. Guess I'll wait and see if I should challenge him about the spectacles. Okay. Was that an indication that I'm supposed to come back to it? Did it get added to his... No. Okay. A newspaper in his right hand. The newspaper was a sports paper, was it? That young hooligan, I nearly asked him, can't you even read without fidgeting, How was I supposed to be able to read the back page with all the rustling going? Oh my god. I needed to find out if Guts and Braun retained his championship title. It was his paper, not yours. If you wanted to know so bad, why didn't you buy your own or ask him? What are you looking at me like that for? How dare you judge me? Ow, ow, poor Phoenix. Guts and Braun got beaten yesterday, by the way. Anyway. The young man was listening to the wireless. I remember that well. Okay, do you remember what ear it was in? If it was the left, then we got a problem. The wireless? The decadent young rascal. In my day, it was one or the other. Read the paper or listen to the wireless. Oh boy. And using an earpiece. It's selfish, that's what it is. I was straining my ears, but I couldn't catch any of it. Was he that desperate to listen to the radio? What are you looking at me like that for? How dare you feel sorry for me? Ow, ow! We're not gonna question the earpiece? Okay. His left eardrum was ruptured. Okay. Alright. I think I'm onto something here, maybe? Working thought. Even though it said something about the spectacles, I don't really know what that's about, per se. I don't see anything suspicious about those yet. What I do see something suspicious about is that he definitely, if he was sitting on the other side of the restaurant, then how would he have seen the earpiece unless it was in his left ear? Or rather, he could have only seen his left ear and he's lying about the earpiece, but why? There's something weird there. This whole case, I've had loose, interesting things, but never concrete things so far, and it's kind of bugging me. You mean the waitress who you only saw from behind, right? You're one of those, are you? You never let anything go, isn't that right? Maybe. What does it matter if I saw her from the front or behind? My eyes don't lie. Ow, ow! I better not push it until I have got some hard evidence. Okay. The little fidget picked up with the cup with his free hand and took a sip. They're very adamant about the hand. His free hand? Yes. Which hand was that? Weren't you listening before, cloth ears? I said he was rustling the newspaper with his right hand, didn't I? If his free hand was his right hand, then which hand was it, you moron? Ow, ow! Perhaps the great Mr. Trite has 3 hands. Yeesh, I was only asking. No need to gang up on me and treat me like a freak. The whole point of this cross-examination is to establish just one thing. That this old guy's memory has more holes than a slice of Swiss. I guess we need to find a contradiction in his testimony somewhere, huh? Anything will do, even the smallest detail. We just need one mistake and he's ours. Okay. Interesting. So there's 3 paths here. There's the earpiece, there's the glasses, and there's the free hand. Are 2 of them red herrings? I wish we knew which hand he writes with. That would be helpful. Okay. Just reviewing my evidence one more time. The earpiece is looking like the strongest thing. I'm not sure why. Unless we can get fingerprints off this thing and know which hand he picked it up with. But we don't have anything super specific. I mean, his right hand is further out, I guess? Man, I don't know. It's gotta be the earpiece, right? Unless I'm missing something very obvious. Okay. He was listening to the wireless. Well, you couldn't have seen it. No. Okay. This evidence clearly reveals the contradiction of that statement, Your Honor. Okay. They aren't they? Not at all. Okay. Here we go. Why would the hand be a contradiction? Can we ask where he was sitting? Was he sitting, like, right across? Huh. His eardrums ruptured? Is it that? No. Okay, maybe... Fuck. Maybe I'm incorrect about the earpiece thing. Is it the hand? Or is it the glasses? Why would it be the glasses? The spectacles. Wait a minute. Hold on, okay. Wait a minute. Is the logic that I'm supposed to apply here, if the newspaper was in his right hand and the glasses were over his left eye, are they actually... It's a monocle? I thought it was just like some like techie accessory, like he could like plan or something on it. I don't know. Okay. Wearing a broken pair of spectacles. All right. A newspaper in his right hand. Yeah, well, if it was in his right hand and it was over his left eye. Okay, but how do I... What am I supposed to do? Do I need to go back to the first one now and question it? Spectacles. Newfangled rubbish. That's why I remember him so well. He did have some kind of lens over his left eye. Okay, that is... Okay. But I wouldn't have called it a pair of glasses. I feel like my logic with the earpiece is pretty sound, though. And it's got to still come up, right? If the earpiece was in his left ear, then it's weird. He seems to have been wearing some rather modern-looking shades. Perhaps I should take to wearing some and write... No, okay. I'll wait to see if I should challenge him about the spectacles. We're still not there, right? Okay. Oh, boy. Okay, it's in his right hand. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay. So, if he had the newspaper in his right hand and he couldn't have seen it with the glasses? No? Fuck. Oh, man, this is going very poorly. Oh, no. I feel like I'm right there. What am I... Oh, shit! Oh my god, is that it? Oh, that's totally it. Fuck. Ah, I didn't even pay attention to that. I'm slipping, man. Okay. The lips. Like, where it is, he had to have drank it with his right hand. Okay. Got it. Oh my god. That's hard. You have to really be paying attention. And they threw in that coffee cup in the middle of a whole bunch of other shit. I didn't even consider that. Oh my god. Oh, Mr. Kudo, do you remember what you were told at the start of his testimony? I still feel like my other paths of logic were fine, but that this was a way of testing the credibility of your memory? I know. There's nothing wrong with my memory, I tell you, nothing. If I got anything wrong, I'll eat these seeds and sing the pigeon song. Care to tell us where this is going, trite? According to Mr. Kudo, the victim was holding the paper in his right hand, while drinking coffee with his free hand, which would make that his left. Ka! What is this, kindergarten? But I would like the court to please take a look at this. That's the cup the victim used, correct? Yes, and on the rim, you'll notice the mark left by the victim's lifts. That is... Oh, man, we're on another level now. I don't feel like anything was quite that easy to slip past me in the previous games. Personally, at least not to my memory. There probably was something else. Yes, there was a stain left by this coffee. If you consider where that stain is, you'll clearly see that the victim was holding the cup in his right hand. But how? Well, Mr. Kudo, the court is waiting for your epic performance. You said you'd eat those seeds and sing the pigeon song. Ah! I don't really want to hear the pigeon song. Mr. Kudo, I'm afraid this is simply not acceptable. I think the witness had better go back to the park where he came from. Wait! If you think I'm going to stand here and listen to you tell me I'm mad, you're wrong. I don't care about that dirty coffee cup. I know what I saw. You still insist on your testimony? The young brat was holding the cup in his left hand. Oh yes, no question. I'm a good law-abiding citizen, I am. It's that dead young hotbot. That dead young hotbot and you spiky-haired yahoo who are at fault. Who, me? Thank you, old man. We've heard quite enough from you already. I love the judge calling him old man. Don't call me old man, old man. Been around for 68 years, I have. You can't ignore me. Listen to what I've got to say. I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but... Sure, why not hear a little more? Mr. Godot! But this is my 16th cup of coffee, so this is your final stand. Thank you, Captain! You can rely on Victor! Alright. Left hand or right hand? The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his spectacles. That's weird. That doesn't make any sense. Perfect. Right there. He kept fiddling with it all the time. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup, too. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand. We know that the victim was wearing an unusual monocle over his left eye. It wasn't a monocle, Your Honor. It was a small computer. That's what I thought it was, but I made conclusions because I wasn't on the right track, so okay. It was a small computer monitor often used by programmers. A monitor? You mean like a television screen? The inside of the lens is a screen that displays computer data. It's called an HMD. It's a common tool in the victim's line of work. HD, TV, DVD, CD, all these newfangled letters drive me mad, but they don't matter. I know what I saw, and I'm telling the truth. It's true, he doesn't seem to be lying. And those are the facts in good old black and white. Okay. I'm pretty sure I know where to take this, but I'm running low on health, man. The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. Okay. So the victim was wearing an HMD. HD, TV, CD, DVD, what does it matter? It was none of them, actually, but anyway. And you're sure that he was wearing the earpiece on the same side? No question. I could only see that side of his head from where I was sitting. Yes! Oh my god! I was too far ahead. Ugh. Yeah, that's pretty obvious if you look at the floor plans. Fuck me. I hate it when that happens. I hate it when I'm a little bit ahead of where the game is and I'm doing something correct but not good enough. From the opposite table, he'd only have a view of the side of the victim's head. He kept fiddling with it all the time. Okay. Well, his left eardrum was ruptured. That's an easy one. Especially since I've been on that train for like half an hour now. I'm not sure what the relevance of this is, but... Mr. Kudo, there is something very strange about your observations of the victim. What? You say he was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the HMD. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear without a doubt. I can only see that side of his head from where I was sitting. I don't think so. What did you say? You're no doubt unaware of this fact, Mr. Kudo. But the victim couldn't hear with his left ear. His eardrum was ruptured. Eh? Traces of medication for his condition were found in his ear canal. That's right, it's impossible that the victim was wearing his earpiece in his left ear, because he couldn't even hear it in that ear. Is that true, Captain? It is. Pigeon! Pretty pigeon! What the hell? Order! 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 This witness's testimony is completely unreliable. He only saw the waitress from behind. And he claims the victim was wearing an earpiece when we know his eardrum was ruptured. Well, Mr. Godot? Ugh. A single drop of milk is all it takes to destroy the pure black magic in the cup. Bad take, in my opinion, but... Okay. This old man is my drop of milk. Captain, are you calling me a drip? This is the victim's coffee cup in which the potassium cyanide was found. The mark on the rim clearly shows that the victim picked it up with his right hand. I'll never back down. I know I'm right. The lad drank his Javicino with his left hand. Let me put you out of your misery. Clearly, the victim used both hands. He took a sip with the cup held in his right hand and then switched to his left. That's what the old man saw. but he died almost immediately after taking a single sip. Impossible. The witness has already testified on numerous occasions that the victim died immediately after taking just one sip of the coffee. I'm so good. Which hand the victim used to pick up his cup is irrelevant, Your Honor. The facts still stand. With one hand or the other, Mr. L drank the poisoned coffee. Like this! Sadly, Mr. Kudo, that doesn't wash. The point of his testimony was to establish whether the victim's testimony was credible. Memory is credible. And the results are clear. The testimony given by this witness is useless. Whew. I believe it is time to conclude today's proceedings. I am satisfied that the witness is not deceiving the court. But to be frank, his testimony is a farce. Did you have to be so frank? Take that, you pompous old fogey! I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo. You can't reach me from there. I'm ordering the defense and the prosecution to investigate this case further. That is all for now. This court is adjourned. Oh, who is it? Wait! If we stop now, where does that leave me? Leave you, Mr. Kudo. Thanks to that blue-suited young upstart over there. I'm just a bumbling old man who can't even dot his T's across his I's now. How is your bad memory my fault? I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but there's nothing I can do. I've kept my mouth shut until now, but there's something else the court should know. What? What? There's more? To be perfectly honest, it might not be anything, but I want another chance. I want another crack at you, you young shark. Me? He's looking at me like I'm some sort of evil shogun. Well, everyone, what do you say to one final showdown? That's not how this works. The final chapter in this eccentric old man's scrapbook. Sorry, Gramps. I've already had my 17th cup of coffee. What have you got to lose, Captain? I'll give you all the Javachino you want if you come to my house after the trial. I may be 68 years old, but I'm Victor Kudo. But Victor Kudo is still a man. That's enough, witness. I believe it will be quicker for the court to just hear your testimony. You bet! Much, much quicker. I can't believe this is happening. You better get ready, youngster. I get the picture. Just quit throwing those seeds at me, would you? He's got to be using some sort of infinite ammo code with that box of seeds. The writing in this game is noticeably different. They're noticeably a lot cheekier with the comedy. What? First of all, I want to stress that this might be nothing. I'm not too sure of myself. Okay. The young boy slumped over the table as soon as he took one sip of his Javachino. Well, the clumsy idiot upset the vase. He knocked it right over. No? No? It broke and the strip of the cloth covering the table got completely soaked. Well, how about that? Turn things upside down, No. You goofball? Is that all? Yes, that's all. I remember it perfectly. Also, that doesn't change anything. You're doubting me again. You're doubting a poor, defenseless old man. No, we are not doubting you, Mr. Kudo. Don't you get the feeling there's a question hanging on everyone's lips, Nick? Yeah. So what? Probably. That's all I can think of, and I have to cross-examine this guy. You're a bird brain. That's why it's all you can think of. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your final cross-examination, please. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna kind of jump the gun here. He knocked over the vase. No, he did not. Easy. Mr. Kudo, this is a photograph of the crime scene. So what? Why are you lying? Or if you're not lying, then what the hell is going on? Look carefully at the table. The vase is there, intact. Huh? Lost your tongue, Granddad? I'm no granddad of yours, hopscotch! Ow! Ow! Phoenix gets abused more with the game that doesn't have Francisca in it so far. Enough. If you throw any more seeds in this courtroom, the cleaners will be here all night. Ah! What is it now? I just remembered something. Yes? Go on. The broken vase. Haha, it was on my table. My man. My man. You gotta be kidding me. What? Well, you see, it startled me when that young lad collapsed. So I stood up. That must have been when it fell over. The vase on my table, I mean. Okay. The vase on your table? Yes, it was on my table. And that's how my groin came to be completely soaked. Dude. Dude. No, that is not implying what I think. You can't. You can't. No. Thank you, Mr. Kudo. You've certainly earned your kudos for today. I'd like to ask a question now. You're pathetic. Have I been any use at all? I'm sorry, man, no. Perhaps that's something you should reflect on yourself, Mr. Kudo. Wait a minute. If that's the case, there's more. I've got more to say. I think the difference between Kudo and Old Bag for me is that Kudo just seems like a sad guy. Old Bag is just fucking vicious and toxic. Kudo just seems like he's had a rough life. Oh yes, I remember something else. Bailiff, escort the witness out of the courtroom. Wait! Listen to me! Jesus Christ. Well, we seem to have been certainly considerably sidetracked, but I'm still not in a position to deliver a verdict. The defendant has not been positively identified as the waitress in question. Additionally, there are two disparities in the testimony we have heard thus far. The mark on the coffee cup that the victim supposedly drank from his left hand, and the earpiece which was inserted into his left ear, out of which he couldn't hear. Wow, Nick, you did it! I therefore require both the defense and the prosecution to further investigate the facts. Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe we had a testimony that was all some big setup for a fucking joke. That's... I kind of love that, actually. There is one more thing before I call today's session to an end. One more thing, Your Honor. The witness we just heard from, he is most insistent that his testimony should be of use. Okay. So we summarize it accordingly into this statement. Okay, is it a haiku? You may each have a copy of it, if you wish. Whatever. The prosecution doesn't need props like that. Kudo's really mad, huh? Yeah, I would be too. Very well. Here you are then, Mr. Wright. There are 3 copies, my own, yours, and Mr. Kudo's. Yes, Your Honor. Okay. Victor's testimony, when the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my seat. I'm sorry. That's not... When the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my... No. I mean, is it a haiku? Almost? Not really. Because, like, the phrases are all... Whatever. I'm sorry? This isn't a piece of testimony, more like a 5-year-old's apology. What the heck are we supposed to do with 3 copies? That is all. This court is adjourned. Well, at the very least, if someone else brings up the broken vase, then we know that the only people that should know are everyone in the courtroom and Kudo himself, I guess. I don't know, man. This case is weird. Not in a bad way, but it's strange. Well, anyway, that was a trial. Thank you all for watching this episode of Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations Blind. I've been Guildmaster Wiggly. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you want to follow my socials or join my Discord, they're in the description. And I hope to see you all in the next one when we figure out what's going on with this coffee cup and earpiece.